You're raving, you're raving, you're raving with RWR. Fabulous songwriters from Belgium and beyond, the lowlands, the highlands, and far across the pond. On Instagram and Facebook too, you can follow, like, and share. Please hit subscribe and join the tribe from the comfort of your chair. You're raving, you're raving, you're raving with RWR. Hello, dear friends, and welcome. Good evening to you, and welcome to Raving with RWR, or good morning if you're watching from the United States. Dahi RWR is my name, Irish singer-songwriter here in Belgium, and this is my YouTube channel called Songs from the RWR Room, and dedicated to singer-songwriters from Belgium and beyond. I hope everyone is doing fine and well on this Wednesday evening. It is the 24th of February, and a great guest tonight over in Bellingham. Is that right? Bellingham, Washington, I believe. Yes, that's where she's from. Her name is Havilah Rand, and we'll be talking to Havilah in a very short while. Let us know where you're watching from. If you're watching live, drop into the comments there. Say hello. I see Stephen is there already from downtown Warscott. Great to see you, sir. Thanks for tuning in, as always. Tonight's stream, folks, brought to you, as always, courtesy of G-Sharp Guitars, the world's finest travel electric guitars, Norwegian-invented electric guitars, and they are based out of Kansas. So check out the links for G-Sharp Guitars there as well. If it's your first time to the channel, please hit that subscribe button down there and give the video a thumbs up. Maybe consider sharing it out. Share it out now. Let your friends know you're watching, or later on. That would be great. If you're watching on Facebook, I believe we're streaming to Facebook as well through the RWR Room page. Please give the page a like and maybe follow on Instagram too. That would be cool of you to do so. Who else is there at the moment? We have Chris in Deutschland. Hello, Chris. Great to see you. Thanks for tuning in by. Always a pleasure. Sylvia Lumen. I know that name as well. How are you doing, Sylvia? Lovely to see you. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. It's always great to have a few live viewers on these things. And that is it. The advertising is over. If you'd like, if you'd like to support the channel, you can also do so at the PayPal link below. That is something you can do to support the channel. Keep it going. You can also visit the shop at therwrroom.com. So anyway, let us go over and see if dear Havilah is in the house. Welcome, Havilah Rand.
Hi. Hello.
Good morning, America.
Good morning.
How are you? As the song goes.
Feeling good. It's a sunny day here, so.
It was a sunny day in Belgium too. We were lucky. A taste of summer today. Absolutely lovely. How you doing? Fine and well. You're looking great, and
Thanks.
You're in fine singing form. I've been looking at some of your recent streams and stuff that you've been doing during lockdown. You never stopped. You kept the flag flying. No, you never stopped. You did. And do you think this whole Corona thing, this lockdown thing, did it help in that respect, or did you take some time out as well, or was it like go from the lockdown?
You know, to be really honest, I was really busy before the lockdown, and had actually planned. I had booked a 2-month tour, and I was going pretty strong, but I was really tired, and I noticed that I wasn't even really excited for the tour, and so I really was. You know, it's unfortunate, of course, that it was something so unfortunate for so many, but for me, it was a nice break. And I've done a lot of writing, and me and my little trio here, we continued to do live streams from the living room the whole time. And so I've been really lucky and blessed in that way to have had a good time to just be creative and quieter. Yeah,
because I know for a lot of songwriters, I mean, because of the nature of the beast, the nature of the game that we're in, it's always go. It's emailing, it's touring, it's rehearsing, it's gigging, and that, as you know, it's always been go. When you're an independent musician, this is what you have to do, and there's no way out of it. So I know for some of us, for some of the people I spoke to here as well, it was lovely for them to be able to take a step back. And whether it was for a few months or even for the whole year, because we never got a chance to do that really, doing this game. And I think it's nothing to be ashamed of either if you do take a step back from it, because people don't always realize the stuff that's going on in the background. They think it's just gigs, and they see you at a gig, and then that's it. but you're constantly, aren't you? Constantly emailing and battling for gigs and trying to. That never stops, right? Yeah.
Never.
Never.
Yeah, never.
Never. No. You'll go back into it strong, as strong as ever, will you? Is that the plan when the dust settles? Is the plan to kind of go back out there, full on again? Do you think?
I think that it's definitely at the you're kind of on this wheel sometimes, right? You can't say no to gigs, and you've got things planned, and but I think having all this reflection, I think I'll take a step back from the noisy bars and the things that take a lot of energy without a lot of payback. I'm learning how to say no. That's hard for us as independent artists to know when to say no, and to preserve your energy and put it into the most productive, most fulfilling areas. So I think there's some areas I'll take a step back, and others I'm hoping I'll have more time and space to give my energy to.
Yeah, was that something you were still doing? I mean, the noisy bar stuff. I know, just to make a living, those kind of gigs, and mixed with quieter listening rooms, was it?
Yeah, I was in Austin, Texas for about 11 years. I had lived in Bellingham before that, and then moved to Austin for the songwriter, community and the live music scene. And I did for a lot of years. I was more selective, and the venues in that area are so more like Europe, like really conducive to a listening room experience. But there were other things that Austin changed a lot over the past decade. Became really expensive, and I own a house here in Bellingham. So I moved back to Bellingham thinking music would go on the back burner, and I would become an adult and maybe, I don't know, like settle down.
Adults. Don't ever do that. Don't ever.
Right. But surprisingly, there were a lot of gigs, and I don't know how to say no. And I didn't have a real community. It'd been 10 years since I'd lived here. So it was really fun, but after 3 years of kind of a lot of regular gigs at places that weren't conducive to a listening room.
Indeed. Yeah, of course. I suppose I've done it myself, where you have to find the balance between doing the let's make a living kind of gigs and let's do gigs for the sake of doing them, and then find, as you said, rooms that are conducive to singer-songwriter, which is a very different thing. It's to be playing in a noisy bar, especially as doing a songwriter set.
Yeah,
it's a very difficult thing to do, because that they're not on your side to begin with, and it's the whole gig you're fighting, aren't you, and battling the crowd.
I learned a lot of covers, which was
fun. To help with that?
I hadn't played very many covers usually, but that's kind of what you have to do in the more traditional American music scene. People love familiar songs, and so and I think as a songwriter, it is nice to learn. It is good to learn other people's material, and it kind of helps add to your own palette and your own toolbox. So it served a purpose, but it's not, I'd rather be playing original music.
Of course you would. Yes. Especially as you're such a high caliber songwriter and performer.
Thank
and you. You deserve to be listened to and to be heard, as all songwriters do. But finding those gigs, of course, is one of the most difficult tasks, doing what you're doing as an independent songwriter. Was 2017 the last time you were out my neck of the woods, when we almost got to meet in person, was it?
Right.
Yeah, we came close, but didn't happen.
Next time.
Yeah, absolutely, next time. And where did you tour in 2017? Do you remember some of the
Yeah, I pulled up my tour schedule. I found it on Reverb Nation. I was like, where can I find? Because those are hard names for an American like me to remember. Those are some wild names. But we started at the Copenhagen Folk Festival or Songwriter Festival. I applied for that, I guess, and got accepted. So we started in Copenhagen, and then we got connected with a wonderful woman in Bergen, Norway. So we went to Norway and played in Oslo at the LY, I think it was called.
Oslo, okay, yeah.
And then we played at this incredible place in Bergen that I definitely can't pronounce. Let me go back. But that was one of my favorite places, was DYVEK, Divkis Vinkjeller. Am I saying that right?
I don't know. Impossible. We'd say Bergen anyway. Bergen was
played in Bergen at this beautiful. It was
great scene.
Yeah, it was in the basement of this. Like, I think the building was probably like from the 1500s. It seemed like an old wine cellar almost, and it was. We'd never been there, and it was packed. It was incredible. It was quiet, and everybody had bought tickets and bought CD. It was, I mean, we were just in shock. Yeah. Like,
and who toured with you?
So I had a songwriting buddy in Austin. And when I had gotten into the Copenhagen Songwriter Festival, he had said, "Hey, do you need a roadie, or do you want someone to come along?" And I was like, sure. I'd always traveled alone, and we co-write really well and we get along. So I started booking other shows, and it was really early. It was like I think I started booking in March, and it was, or even later, like April or May. And this was going to happen in September, October. And I put in the subject line, Texas Troubadours, but I didn't mean that was the name of our band.
Okay.
But people thought that it was. And I think there's this real appreciation for Texas music in Europe. And we were getting booked, like everyone was selling tickets, and we were just like in shock, and we'd actually never performed a whole set together.
Right.
So
we
pulled it off, and we had a blast, and so hopefully I can go back. It's been years later now, but
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So you had Norway, and you had Belgium,
Norway,
Holland.
Amsterdam, Belgium, Luxembourg, Germany. Yeah, it was about 10 to 12 shows in like 14 days.
Wow.
It was
really
great. We did it was busy. Great. I packed it.
Yeah, it's lovely to be out on tour and not really have days off, isn't it? To be able to kind of go and focus on the gigs, and it creates a great momentum. Rather than having like 3 or 4 days off, you end up spending money and buying guitars and things that you shouldn't be doing.
You have like a lot more luggage that you have
You come back with a ton of stuff. Yeah. Before we play a song, I want to have a look at a couple of comments here that are coming in from what looks like great friends of yours and mine. We said hello to Sylvia Trieste.
Oh, my mom. That's my mom.
That's Trieste from Oregon.
Hi,
Hello,
Mom.
Hey, Mom. Nice to see you. And look who's here. My dad is there as well. There you go. Your mom and my dad. How you doing, Martin?
The whole family's here.
It's the whole family. It's like, there's 4 people watching. Your mom and my dad. Nice.
Yeah.
Debbie Livingston is there as well. Debbie, lovely to see you from Tucson, Arizona. Tuned in all the way from Tucson.
Oh, great.
The Havilah in the Vashon Island. Several years ago.
Awesome.
So glad to join you here. Thank you, Debbie, for tuning in. Lovely to see you. Great to see you all. Yeah, some lovely viewers here. Of course, Anna is there. Vanuit the Netherlands. She's living in Shannonbridge too with Beda. Hello, Anna.
Hello.
Lovely to see you. Herbie, Belgian friend of mine up the road as well.
Hello.
Great to see you. Trieste says she loves you. Love you too, Mom.
Love you too. Love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom. Love you, Mom. Tell us about this first song. We're going to play Concrete and Lace. It looks like it's from your living room as well. It's a beautiful song. You want to tell us a little bit about it before I give it a spin?
It was part of a songwriting group challenge. We try to write a song a week together. And the prompt was we had to use the word concrete.
Wow.
It's a pretty broken. I wasn't really that brokenhearted at the time, but it's pretty easy to write brokenhearted love songs.
Yes.
So there you go.
That's okay. So the concrete was kind of shattered in the song. Is that the idea?
Yeah. It felt like concrete crushing my heart. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, we'll give it a play. We'll be back in a few minutes, folks, with the great Havilah Rand. Check out this lovely song of hers, and I'll see you in a few minutes.
Thank you. I've been trying not to love you. I've been trying not to touch you. I'm trying, but I'm anything but cool. I've been trying not to see you. I've been trying not to be who you thought when you walked out the door. Let me in, let me in, let me in. Can we find the missing pieces? Let me in, let me in, let me in. Show me where all these keys been. Oh, I've been trying to be seen in the shadows of the trees. Only voices on the wind could comfort me. I'm concrete, I am lace, I am floating out in space, and our love is lost without a trace. Let me in, let me in, let me in. Can we find the missing pieces? Let me in, let me in, let me in. Show me where all these keys in. I've been trying to find answers, slave to all the masters of distraction. Where is clarity? I've been trying not to love you. I've been trying not to touch you. I've been trying not to see you in my mind. And it's a lesson, it's a pain, it's the thunder, it's the rain. But I'm driving down this highway just to say, and it's a blessing, it's a curse. When I smile, I feel worse. I want to hurl myself right off of this train. Let me in, let me in, let me in. Can we find the missing pieces? Let me in, let me in, let me in. Show me where all these keys been. I've been trying not to love you. I've been trying not to touch you. I've been trying, but I'm anything but cool. Oh.
Concrete and Lace, beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, lovely song. I loved all the. I can see them there too. You have a lovely collection of guitars on the wall too, Havilah, which I like to see in the video. I like to see for some reason. Tell me a little bit about that Seagull guitar you're playing. It's a lovely looking Seagull. It looks like has been around the block. God,
I love that guitar. It's the closest thing to a husband I might ever have. But I think I bought it in 99, maybe 99, 2000. And yeah, it's been all over the country, all over the world. And I use a lot of open tunings. And so it's just, the size is perfect for me. It has this wonderful tone. And with the open tunings, you know how open tunings are. They're just, there's a lot of overtones and it really resonates. It just has, you couldn't really hear it in that video, but it has great resonation and it's just super easy to play. And it was really affordable.
They're great really guitars. So, yeah. I think Stephen will tell me, but I think the Canadian made, aren't they? Seagull now. I think they come under the Godin company and Seagull, I think, are all the one company now, if I'm not mistaken. But I shall tell people as well, just so you know, folks, if you are listening back to these videos, they get a bit compressed here. So I always ask people to go and check out these videos themselves later on and play them on your own systems, because they will get a little bit kind of compressed as I pull them in on this particular chat. It just happens on the web, so don't judge the sound of the videos.
Oh, no.
Actually, go and check them out yourselves and listen to them properly later on. I always like to say that because sometimes people hear the videos and they kind of go, "Oh, the sound's a bit," yeah, but that can happen on the interweb, as you know.
Yeah.
On the interwebs, but they are the great guitars, and any Seagull I've heard plugged in or even acoustically has been very impressive. Yeah, absolutely. But you think, apart from the long distances in America, what are some of the differences that you found, sort of maybe between audiences, between sort of the European scene and the American scene? I'm not talking about the noisy bars, but even from a songwriter venue point of view, are there differences, in the vibe, in the people? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me, I haven't toured Europe very many times, but I have a lot of friends who are a little, more active than myself, and especially in Austin, that we're going to Europe at least once a year. And had to, and I think it's because Europe it seems like there's more of an appreciation for original music. I mean, I was certainly so surprised when we started booking countries we'd never been to, that people had never heard of us, and filling up these venues, and then performing, and people were listening and staying through the whole show. And Austin is a really special place in that it has a culture of original music because of its, Willie Nelson and these songwriters.
Austin City Limits and stuff is a big show, and there's lots
it's really it's got that reputation. So the audiences are it's almost like audiences are trained to be quiet. Like, you can be in a bar and have a drink and still be sitting and listening to. And I think it's also the venues, like in Europe, there's a stage, there's a nice sound system.
Yes.
You pay a cover, and when you pay a cover and when there's a dedicated area for performance, people just are already more invested. Whereas here, there's there's Austin, and then there's a few other little pockets around the country, in various cities and smaller towns and venues that work hard to preserve, but it's just not as, like I said, like, you've got to play cover songs. You've got to be,
have you?
Playing dance music. You've got to be playing stuff that people can get drunk and the bar can make money off of you. And,
okay. Very much a bar mentality in a lot of places. And what about the sort of like the Nashville scene? Have you touched that at all, or thought about that scene, or is that sort of the same as Austin, or do they compare even?
It's similar. I know that Nashville is more recently becoming more of a live music, more like a songwriting performance, but it's been more of a publishing town. I think it's been more of a place where people go to make a living at songwriting for more established performers, more country. More contemporary country music. And I think more recently, in the last 10 years, it's become more of a hub for songwriters, and there's more venues. I've performed there once. I performed at the Bluebird years ago. I won a contest, and we got to go to Nashville and play the Bluebird. I saw
a video from the Bluebird. The Bluebird. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Will you talk to me a little bit about this lovely project that you're involved in called the Life Song Project? Is that correct? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What is that about?
So I started writing songs, doing songwriting programs with kids about 7 or 8 years ago, which has been awesome. But it got a little difficult as a songwriter to really feel inspired with a lot of songs about chickens and puppies and kittens, and I was getting bored with my own material, and so I decided to go talk to people who were over the age of 80, who were almost a century old.
Wow!
And get their life stories, and then see if I could write a song about their lives.
Wonderful. Yeah.
And it ended up being. It was a little idea, and I went and talked to some people at an elderly community here in Bellingham, and it just was magical for me. It just was so inspiring And I realized how many benefits it was benefiting them in having someone interested in their life and interested in actively listening, and then to take those stories and kind of preserve them at forever into a song is really powerful. So
very much so. A beautiful idea and concept. And so have you gotten a lot of material, a lot of songs out of this project, or just is it in the beginning? Yeah, it
started slowly. There was 3 or 4 songs in the beginning when I first started it in 2016. And then I got busy, and there's only so many hours in the day, but especially during lockdown, I've really focused. So I'm up to 12 or 13 songs.
Brilliant.
5 of them in the last 6 months.
Wow. Yeah. Of course, just to have that as an archive as well. Amazing thing, because these stories and these people and stories will be gone, in the blink of an eye. And it's gorgeous that you came up with this idea. I'll leave the website there. It's also linked below, the Live Song Project, if people want to check that out. Has it just been people in the locality at the moment, or are you hoping to expand it beyond that? Or
I mean, I have big dreams, of course. My dream is that it would be something that would include other songwriters, that we would go on the road and have a CD every year of about 15 songs and take it on the road. And then every city that we went to, we would meet with elders in that place and write the album for the next year. So that's a big dream. Right now it's just me. And I do it as it's a both for profit. So I get hired now to write for families who want someone in their family to be remembered.
Right.
Maybe someone's that's already passed, or someone who's close to passing. I'm affiliated with an organization in Oregon. They're end of life doulas, so they help families that are dealing with end of life experiences. So I do services for them, but I also have a nonprofit side of it where I also enjoy just doing it as selfishly for myself as inspiration, but also just as a tribute to a diverse perspective of American history.
Absolutely. And you must have had a lot of wonderful stories, but both historic and personal from these men and women of that age. It must be quite wonderful to document them. And even if they never become songs, I assume you document them anyway. Do you physically record them speaking, or do you just write it down? You do.
At first I tried to write it down, and it was, I lost so much. I was like, what does this mean? I started recording it with my phone. I would just sit and press record, and the conversations are usually about 45 minutes long. And then what's awesome is that I can insert pieces of the person speaking into the recording of the song.
Yes, you can, of course.
Which has been really, people are like, oh my God, like
so
before
lovely.
The verse that there's some, they're speaking about the topic of the next verse. And
amazing idea, Havilah, really. Yeah, absolutely. Is the Ballad of Sue and Ray from one of those songs?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Great, because I had this lined up here. Just let me find it here. Tell us a little bit then, briefly, if you wouldn't mind, about this particular song or this particular story.
So this was the first time I was hired by a family. They'd heard me play, and I'd played a few of the songs and told the stories. And so they hired me to write about their parents who were living in Discovery Bay, Washington. I sat with this couple, and it was just fascinating. Both of them had stories about, the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, from World War II to Haight-Ashbury in San Francisco it was hard to keep the song being, from being like 20 minutes long. It was like so much information to try and, but so this is what I came up with.
And this was it. And did you say Ray, Sue and Ray, were they a couple? Did you say husband and wife?
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. We'll give it a spin. It a spin here, folks. Let's have a listen to a great song called "The Ballad of Ray, a ballad of Sue and Ray from Havilah.
Saw her walking by, pushing a carriage, flashing a smile on a bench in San Francisco, not a penny to his name. Everlog and Company had gone bust. He sold the Chevy and the truck. The pretty yellow farmhouse swept away in the divorce. He took up with the Navy and went to war. Now he's hitching a ride on Eleanor, enchanted highway, take me away to our beloved cabin on Discovery Bay, where the diamonds grow on cactus, where our broken hearts are whole, eating waffles on the front porch. 50 years, and I only love you more. Oh, 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 oh. She hammered past Manchester with her baby in a VW van to meet a man. Instead she found a circus, Haight Ashbury in 67, Carnival, Charles Manson standing on a corner, all the girls would gather round. Her sister said it's time to turn around. There's no going in reverse, we're northern bound. Enchanted highway, take me away to our beloved cabin on Discovery Bay, where the diamonds grow on cactus, where our broken hearts are whole, eating waffles on the front porch. 50 years, and I only love you more. Oh, 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 oh. She was Doris Day in cowgirl boots. He took one look and then he knew that the war was finally over. Love was all around. Well, they barreled down the mountain with St. Helens on their heels, spreading laughter and adventures to the trees and rocks and rivers, to paradise and back, making love on a railroad track. Bought an acre to call home, with no electricity, camping under a canopy. 3 daughters made a family. Oh, enchanted highway, take me away to our beloved cabin on Discovery Bay, where the diamonds grow on cactus, where our broken hearts are whole, eating waffles on the front porch. 50 years, and I only love you more.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. She was Doris Day in cowboy boots. That's what. Cracking line.
Thank you.
Cracking line. She was Doris Day in cowboy boots. Lovely, lovely stuff. And yeah, a wonderful project. And long may that continue for you, because it sounds like a very awesome and inspiring way to not only create great songs, but to for inspiration to and to document the lives and stories of these people.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. Yeah, really, really. Absolutely. So tell us about your youth in music. I know your mum was watching. Do you have brothers and sisters, or where it all kind of began, musically, where you heard your first sort of songs and your music? Where did it come from?
My parents were, children of the 60s. And so we had a lot of James Taylor and Carole King and Joni Mitchell in our house on the record player.
Yeah.
A lot of musicals. My mom loved musicals and played a bit of piano. So she'd always force me to, okay, I'm going to play the piano and you're going to sing. And my dad had a guitar. And I thought he was an incredible guitarist. And he actually knew there was 3 songs that he played over and over. Greensleeves, The Gambler by Kenny Rogers, and I don't know, maybe one other one.
Yeah.
Maybe some Peter, Paul, and Mary. But
sounds like my dad.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, he's such a good guitar player.
Brilliant.
But my grandmother was an incredible singer. She was not professional, but she had an amazing operatic voice. And then my great grandfather who I never met on my dad's side, I hear was kind of this famous street musician, folk singer in Quincy, Massachusetts. So I think it's in my blood. And yeah. So
did you always gravitate towards guitar, or did you dabble in piano or other instruments as you went
started
along,
with
or?
piano.
You started. Okay.
Yeah. We had that in our home. And I never became really proficient. I could play well enough to write songs. So I was writing songs quite young. I was really young when I started writing songs. And then it just wasn't portable, the piano. So as I got older and I wanted, to travel and live in different places, I picked up the guitar in my early 20s. And I've been using that ever since. Primarily, I'll use the piano when I'm doing production on recording, or I'm, picking out different parts of chords and stuff, but I don't perform with the
on stage keyboard. As such. Yeah, great to have it though as a writing tool, I'm sure. Yeah, to again, just to, we were speaking about, picking up another guitar, maybe an electric or a guitar in an open tuning, just the inspiration that it has when you go to create something. It's obviously the same on piano, where you can you hear it on piano, or when you write songs, Havilah, do you prefer to be near a guitar or piano, or do you do a lot of note taking and then kind of put it, what's your songwriting structure like, your MO like?
I'll pick up the guitar for sure. I'll start singing is sort of I think that's my strongest tool that I have, and hearing melody. So I'll usually pick up the guitar and come up with, a melodic, pattern or idea.
Yeah.
And hopefully I have an idea for the lyrics. I usually do, but that will usually come a little bit after the
really? So you like to sit down with the guitar first and see what comes out, and then maybe work towards a song, rather than sort of taking lots of notes on an idea and then putting it together later?
Yeah, I mean, the life song I think I was, hungry for a different strategy, and I'd never really written, in the traditional folk sense of like stories. I'd never really written that way. It was more ethereal and more, I don't know what you'd call
abstract,
it, but
I guess.
more abstract. Yeah. And so the life songs have really helped me to write in this different way, where I do have a story, and I have a bunch of lyrical material already. And then it's just kind of like a puzzle. Like I just have to take the pieces of the story and turn them into lyrics that work with whatever music I'm coming up with.
And what about co-writing? Is that something you've dipped into a lot, or rarely?
A bit. So with Bruce Salmon, who I went to Europe with, we'd been writing together as part of this songwriting group in Austin. And that was the first time. It's hard for me. Co-writing is hard.
It is.
It's there's a lot of, for me, insecurity and pressure, and but we started more online, where it was like he came up with a musical part, like a guitar, part. And then, so that was really easy for me to listen to his guitar part and then come up with a melody. I'm not I'm not really a very good guitar player. I should be much better after this long, but it's really easy for me to sing and to come up with melodies. So it was really fun to already have the guitar part and then just make up a lyric. And so it worked out really well with us. And I haven't done too much beyond that. Yeah.
Do you find, like, when you say co-writing is tough as well, is it also from the point of view of sort of having to be vulnerable and sharing your innermost thoughts from that point of view?
Yeah,
or do you just, there's that part of it, right? Yeah, I often found where you're in a co-writing situation, it's also maybe sometimes good to have a co-writer who also doesn't agree with everything you're doing all the time, that can kind of push back a little bit. And some of the better co-writes I've done were with musicians and songwriters kind of go, well, let's try something else. Or, are you good at that yourself? Are you good at kind of when the gut says, I'm not feeling this? Are you good at saying, I'm not feeling this, let's try something else?
Yeah. And I enjoy, I enjoy critique. I enjoy a challenge. And I am not, I did some co-writing. There's a thing called the House of Songs in Austin, this organization where people from Europe come over and write with Austin songwriters. Oh. So I did write with a few people from Denmark. And with two of them, it was really easy. And we just kind of went back and forth, and I did find it easy to voice my opinions. But I do, like with Bruce, I like being challenged. I like, okay, let's keep this, but that other thing, not so much. Or
scrap it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So some people are good at that, and some people don't like it. But it's something you have to learn too, especially in co-writing situation. Yeah. Where not everything you do is, and even when it's a finished song, not everything you finish, is finished. Right. Did a video talking to Brett Perkins, who I'm sure you met. Oh yeah. Over in Denmark, and we made a video, and he did a great talk on it, about how everything should be kind of a first draft, and maybe for a long time until you're really 100% sure that it's finished. Mm-hmm. You should keep going back to it. And are you good at going back over older stuff or especially newer stuff that you've written and kind of editing and going back and back like Leonard Cohen would do? No, you're not. You like to write it and let it go.
I don't do that. No, that's not my style at all, really. Yeah, I'm good at, again, the live songs, because I think I'm more particular with them because I'm writing them for other people. Yeah. So maybe I'm a little bit more like, but I don't like to spend too long, and I feel this way about recording too. Sky's the limit. I mean, you can rework a song or work on an album forever. Yeah. There's always, ways to change things. And I think for me, I have to draw the line somewhere so that I can keep the creativity flowing. And I don't get too bogged down. I mean, there's some songs that have definitely taken longer than others to finish, where I'll go back and I try not to. I was just listening to Margaret Atwood speak during the Folk Alliance, the online Folk Alliance conference. And, her tip for not having ideas was to go to sleep or do something monotonous or go for a walk. Yeah. And I'm a big believer in, taking breaks and coming back to it, and taking a break and coming back, so that it can get bogged down. You can bog down that energy.
Yes. And over tweak and over correct. Yeah. And overthink, I suppose. Yeah. As you were saying, and yes, it has that has its downsides as well. You have to be able to step back from it, and to know when to push it forward, I suppose. Yeah. But so you're pretty good at that aspect of it, where you're okay with stepping back away from it a little bit. Yeah. And just kind of, a lot of people, when they write a song for the first time, it's like they're so enamored with it that, like I said, that's it. It has to be, it's ready, whereas, as Brett was saying, you should really take a step back away from it. And kind of just let it sit for a few days or a week. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Before you 100% commit to it, I suppose. And that was a good tip he gave in the talk about that. But is a Box Top Love Letter also a song from that project.
Yeah, that was another couple, and they had that one was interesting because they had a kind of, I mean, no one's life is easy, but there was, a beautiful marriage that had lasted many years. Sue and Ray had been through a lot previous to their meeting and getting married. They'd had some big life changes and adventures and challenges. And then Box Top Love Letter was just a little bit more like a fairy tale romance. And I was like, wow, it's hard to write happy love songs, but they had a great story. And I was able, you'll hear in the chorus, Box Top Love Letter, they had met in middle school and then crossed paths again. And he'd been passing through her town in high school and left her a note on a pizza box top. Because of course there was no, texting or.
No, internet. That's where the box top came from. Oh wow! So he left a little love note
on the box top, and So it's a great. I loved their story, and so this is their love story.
This is their love story. We'll give it a play, and see you in about 3 or 4 minutes for some more chat, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
Marvelous. Box Top Love Letter, Havilah Rand, folks. Gorgeous song.
We were lovers in the 6th grade, being the prettiest girl in Laramie, 'cause I handed her that corsage, never would have guessed Joe's daughter would be jealous of me. My daddy was a cheating, drinking railroad man, but he had a way with it on. My mother and Carmela bided their time until that day. Opportunity found its way. Pedal up the mountain high. I'm 33, 14 to the sky. And I'll wear my jacket to hide these wrinkles on my shirt. Take you to the theater that you were about to type love letter. Well, I rediscovered her just by chance. Asked her for another dance at the bandbox on Colfax. Laughing at chilly winters from the balcony. Soon she'd meet my boy, call him son. In a small white church we were wed on Thanksgiving Day in a red convertible. I took Kansas City, laughing with no reservations, all the way to the U Smile Motel. Pedal up the mountain high. Climb 33, 14 to the sky. And I wear my jacket to hide these wrinkles on my shirt. Take you to the theater and you were about to type love letter. When the brewers went on strike, I was a daddy, working every night. Collins, things are gonna change, and he was right. Whoa, she was a preschool teacher.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. Fox Top Love Letter. Yeah, beautiful. What kind of open tunings do you use, Havilah?
I use Dadgad a lot. That was an open D. I've used open G. I use drop D a lot. So
yeah. Same as myself. Kind of standards. Beautiful. I don't use open G very much, but it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous tuning. They're all gorgeous tunings and great for, as you say, overtones and for inspiring those great songs. You know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You have a live stream going out on your YouTube channel tomorrow. Will you tell us a bit about that for your listeners who may want to join you tomorrow?
Oh, yeah. I'll be on Facebook via the Folk Alliance International is going online. So it'll be on Facebook, and Rob Ellen is really huge. I think he's based in Europe. He's in Scotland, I think.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Rob Ellen's medicine show. He's got a lot of different things that he does promoting songwriters in Europe. So he's got like an unofficial showcase room that I'll be performing at 3:45 Pacific. I think that's like 20:45.
Yeah, something like that. But you'll put it up on your page. I'll have your Facebook.com.
It's on the Facebook. Yep, there's an event for it. An event link on there. So
we'll check that out tomorrow. So when on Folk Alliance, you said it was a Folk Alliance project. Yeah, they're really good. That's a really good project. I saw a couple of artists from it already. A Dutch girl called Clementine just did one as well, and there's quite a few people who are involved in the Folk Alliance. They do great work.
Yeah,
and brilliant stuff. Looking forward to seeing that. You also will you be doing other streams, sort of personal streams? I know you work with a band when you live stream, and we're going to have a song to finish off the stream from your band. So maybe you just give the band a shout out and let us know who's in the trio.
Yeah. So a good friend of mine, Phil Satile, who lives here in Bellingham, we've been playing together since 1997. And he's a wonderful slide guitar and pedal steel, and he's wonderful. And then our friend Dave Vons, who's a drummer and percussionist, we've been playing together for 10 years. And so coming back to Bellingham after being in Austin for a decade, it's just been really wonderful to have them as friends and as co-collaborators playing music. So we've been playing pretty regularly from my living room here on Sundays. It's not every Sunday. It's kind of when we feel like it, but I think maybe this coming Sunday we might. And so if you're on my Facebook page, I always give it, a little heads up when we're going to be playing. It's usually 7 p.m. Pacific. We might start playing a little bit earlier because I have family on the East Coast and then, friends in Europe. So we'll try to do some things a little bit earlier in our day so that you're still awake.
Yeah, we're still awake over here. I know. Yeah, there's a bit of a time gap. That's brilliant. We'll look forward to watching those, and I'll be tuning in tomorrow. Definitely tomorrow for the Folk Alliance one, which I'll stick my head up and I go hello. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And you do great live streams. You've been on the scene for probably at least 20 years, have you then, or more?
On and off. Yep.
Yeah. Wow, it's long. You're a veteran performer. You're wonderful, great performer, great at what you do. I just want to wish you all the very best for the future and for when the dust settles.
So much.
Hopefully, we'll get to meet up in real life eventually, out this neck side of the world, or maybe I'll be over there. Who knows?
Yeah.
Once the dust settles, I hope you get back touring and bringing your great songs and your great show to us Europeans over here.
Yeah, I'd love to.
We'd love to have you back. Absolutely. We're going to finish off with a song with you and the band called "To Be Seen." Do you want to tell us a little bit about the song itself?
Yeah, this is an example of one of those more abstract original songs that I think I was thinking about. It was written a while ago. It's the last song on my album, A High Wave, which was my last release.
2014, yes?
Gosh, yeah. 2014.
Wow. Still a great album. People can get that, of course, on your .com, I guess. If they check it out, they'll find links to all your music. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead about you were saying about the song.
It's about, what is it about? Feeling far away and wanting to come home and to be seen. That's been I think that's something as artists and as people that we long for, to be recognized and appreciated and seen. So that's all I can really, it's one of those songs.
It's one of those abstracty things.
One of those weird ones, yeah.
No problem, absolutely. It's a great song as well. And I hope everybody will go and check out your music and your Facebook page, havilahmusic.com, and we'll give this song a spin to say good night and good day to you, good afternoon to you at this stage now. It's almost noon there, is it?
Yep.
So yeah, absolutely. I want to thank you very much for your time and your talent, and for being here with me today on my little channel. Lovely to connect with you. We almost met in real life back in 2017, but hopefully we'll fix that in the coming years, or soon, upcoming year, I hope.
I know.
It'd be great to come back over and do some gigs over this side of the world. If you want to hang on after we say goodbye, I'll be here for a quick chat with you after the show. But for now, Havilah, thank you so very, very much for being here. The very best of luck with everything, all the new recordings and new writings, and the new music. And may the dust settle soon, and keep the flag flying.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Take care. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
The great Havilah Rand, folks, and her wonderful songs. And thank you all very, very much for being here tonight. We're going to finish off with one of Havilah's great songs with the band here. I'll be back on Saturday night, 8 o'clock. We'll try to broadcast here Wednesdays and Saturdays. I have a great songwriter lined up for us on Saturday night. His name is Ray Heffernan, and don't miss that show. He's a brilliant talent, and it'd be great to talk to him. Thank you all very, very much for tuning in. Thanks for giving the video a thumbs up, for sharing it, for subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you next time on Raving with Rua. Here is Havilah and her band. It's just a great song. Check it out. To be seen. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Fires are raging, storms are moving in. Couldn't stand another day. Again. And time to chase us every century. The times are far behind. Seems like the hard times never leave. My heart is aching to the marrow of my bones. All I ever wanted was to find my way back. Fly away to the mountains and I roll down through the valley. Am I running away? Or am I finally free? And I can hear you calling across the raging seas. I can feel you watch me the way I'm longing to be seen. I can hear you calling me all the way back to the beginning. There is something scratching at the bottom of my soul. Digging deep, don't seem to get me anywhere but all alone. Your eyes left mine, there is nowhere to hide. Take me and show me the way to the other side. I hear you calling across the raging seas. I can feel you watch me the way I'm longing to be seen. I can hear you singing me all the way back to the beginning. Here calling across the raging seas, I can feel you watch me the way I'm longing to be seen. I can feel it all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way to the beginning. Oh, to the beginning. Oh, to the beginning. Nice.